This week, we talked about the value of publishing content. So we talked throughout the entire semester about writing great content, how great content is created through storytelling, the value that storytelling provides. What is the experience that you want people to have when they're encountering your content and seeing and interacting with whatever it is that you're producing. And then lastly, we talked about publishing. And this kind of plays very well with the social strategy that we talked about the week before with the empowering the social employee, having channels that make it easy to advocate for organization, share content that's relevant to drive more business, increase conversions, etc. Um, but in terms of just publishing in general, I think this is a nice topic that just sort of encompasses everything that we talked about. Um, do you create content that's on in advertisements? Do you create content that is for your website? Do you have content that is designed specifically for your a product? Do you do product marketing, etc.? I think the answer is yes, all of that. Um, Gary V, we talked about this. He has this whole philosophy where you could make something along the realms of like 64 different types of content through one piece of content. And I think that when you really want to think about publishing, like where do you want something to go, you need to take a step back. And if you're really working hard on a very good message that is very specific to the people that you're targeting, that you want to target, that you want to read your content, and you want to help them on a journey that, yes, will drive to a converting conversation and lead to a sales discussion, something that fills your pipeline. um, I think it's really important to exploit good content. So to Gary Vee's point, he gave one speech, and from that one speech, he had 5 or 6 different audio clips that were reshared. He had a blog post that was used. He had a podcast that was created. He had videos that were shared on Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. And he had images that were created with quote highlights. He had an email solution put together around that too. So LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, um, all of that was touched in a different way using that same content. It might not have been the entire hour and a half speech, certainly wasn't, but it could have been a really solid quote. It could have been a great image. It could have been an inspiring segment of that speech, etc. Um, and yeah, 64 pieces of content are created from that. That right there, I think encompasses everything that we've talked about. It encourages people to share, it encourages people to write great copy, it encourages people to leverage possibly third party tools to make sure that the right keywords are matched so that the right audiences are being touched at the right time. Everything we talked about comes down to this. And how do you break down and segmentize how one really strong piece of content can be go into 64 different places and 64 different, not to 64 different places necessarily, but 64 different pieces of content. Now, we're all not Gary Vee, right? I'm certainly not. But that doesn't mean that you can't have something that is relevant and relatable and clear that can be repurposed. So think about the next time your CEO or CMO or someone really inspiring within your organization says something profound that is so spot on to what it is that you're trying to market for. Take it, record it, break it up, make an image out of it, make a meme out of it, make a GIF out of it, quote it, um, break it down into a tweet and drive it to a landing page so people can see the full version of it. Write the whole damn thing out, make it a white paper, take 10 tips from that speech and repurpose it. Find a way that can, and just be careful about where exactly you want this content to be distributed throughout the different journey that people are on. Is this good content for people that are just that they don't even know that your product exists? They don't even know that there is a product like yours that exists. They just know they have some problems. And is that where it fits in that awareness phase? Or do they know about your product? They know about your competing products, and they're starting to go a little bit more. So they're getting consideration. They're thinking about it. Is that where it belongs? Or is this a content for people that are like, they know who you are, they're ready to make a decision, it's really down between you and maybe someone else or maybe two others, etc. And this conversation, this piece of content is going to drive that home and make that conversion a home run. So you have to think about that too. All of that comes together. And then of course, using Brian Solis for the most of it, when you share that content, and if people do click on your link and they do interact with what you're doing, what is that experience going to be like? If they go to the landing page, what is that going to what is that, what does it look like? How does it feel? Is it pleasant? Does it feel like you're walking into Best Buy and you're like, oh, whoa, back off, I don't even know what I'm looking for yet, or I just need one thing and I need you to leave me alone? Or is it a second time when you're going to Best Buy and you're looking to buy a kitchen set and you absolutely need help? So you have to think about the different types of experiences on the same page, right? Depending on where people are. If they're looking to buy an entire kitchen set, they need your help. But if they're looking to get like a wire for their CD player, if that even exists anymore, they probably don't need your help. Or maybe they do, but they just need to be guided. So we have to respect that. We have to be, if we're going to wear the blue shirt and we're going to introduce ourselves, we have to be very cautious as to how we're guiding people around to the different content that you're providing. And that's it. Fantastic course.